Blood for the blood gods, goals for the throne of corn. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for chaos training, and today was an arm day. Keeping with what I said I'm going to do, I do feel like some of these body parts I've just been throwing too much volume at them. So what I really want to do is just focus on the movements that I know are going to give good results. Focus on high quality sets, taking sets to failure or very close to failure, and keeping those volumes inside the ranges that I need to do. I feel like, again, I need to stick to my guns of what I know the real evidence shows that 10 to 20 sets a week is probably optimal. It is probably optimal. And I mean, I tend to agree with the people who've said that for years, my own observations. So let's just stick with that. So I think for things like biceps, I don't need more than about 15 total sets. And that's if I count chin-ups. I'm not going to count rows, you know. So what does that mean? I'm going to do 9 sets for biceps today. You know, we do 3 sets of chins, 3 sets of curls, and then a bunch of rows on the back day, right? And that's okay, right? That's okay. So 15 really hard sets should be good. Same thing with the triceps. I came and did 7 sets for triceps today. And I think on my chest day, I want to just hammer chest. I need to hammer my chest from multiple angles. I feel like I should work some decline work in. You know, so I'm going to end up doing about 15 sets for chest. It's all going to have secondary carryover to my triceps. So I really feel like on that day, just pick one tricep exercise and push it super hard. So for the curls today, these were all about 10, 11 reps, and I hit failure. So on this one, people are like, oh, you're not training them hard enough. I've reached failure in the middle of the sets. So all of these, my goal was to just take them to failure. Notice it's full range of motion controlled. I am trying to not move my torso at all. So we're locking out at the bottom, coming to a complete stop, locking, and then keeping that cocked back wrist so that we have tension at the top, bringing the bar all the way to my face so that we work the bicep through its entire full possible range of motion. So yes, my elbows are going to come forward a little at the bottom to make sure the bar clears my thigh, right? And that will also put more tension at the bottom, and then we hit failure. We hit failure. All right, for triceps, I feel like I can get a better stretch with the easy bar, but I don't like cleaning it up. And I realize I can definitely fit the easy bar into that spot. So here's the same thing. With these extensions, I want to take these into the deepest stretch my range of motion allows for. So I'm trying to get it pretty far behind the head. So the same thing, trying to do a long range of motion, do close to limit sets. Now these hurt when I go to failure, but I may start taking them to failure. Now I don't know how I'm going to get the bar back up each time. I'll probably have to put it back up on there. So I may start doing that actually, but I kept them about 1 rep from failure. Then for the other exercise, I took it to failure. I took it to literal muscle failure. So again, the idea here, focus on that progressive overload. And I just took these to where after a pause, I felt like the forearm was trying to degrade and they burned like hell. But again, what I've been doing with these, like I did the other day, trying to take them to a little bit of a pause at the bottom. So instead of chasing more weight on the bar, let's just chase that extra range of motion, focus on getting that deep burn, and then I will progressively overload from there. But I started losing reps. I think I got like 13 and I ended up with 10 on the last. Now, granted, these breaks are short. Like these breaks are less than 2 minutes apart. Pretty much on everything I did today. This whole workout was relatively fast. It was actually pretty quick, even though it was 16 total work sets. And I didn't superset these, so I just did them alternating in the sense of I did a bicep exercise and a tricep exercise. Not quite a true superset, but it let the biceps and triceps rest between, and then train the opposing muscle group for 3 sets. So instead of a back and forth, I did it this way. And it actually did feel really good. Maintained that arm pump all the way through, right? Because you figure you're going to spend less than 10 minutes, you know, way less than 10 minutes on each movement. So again, you're still maintaining a pretty good arm pump and then coming over and doing the other. So on these though, yeah, they felt really good, but I did start losing reps. But again, focused on that stretch. And I'm going to make this really my primary. I feel like a lot of the incline stuff, while it's good, I'm not getting the same hammering of the whole tricep that I do on laying extensions, especially with the shoulder movement involved to get that long head. So I'm just going to push these. Just like I'm going to push barbell curls as the primary. And then we'll do other stuff as a secondary. We're going to push the strict barbell curl super hard. Try to keep it strict, do sets to failure. I'm going to do these extensions as a primary, right? We're going to do them as a primary. But as we can see there, definitely fatigue accumulating, and then I feel like the bar slows a little. Right there, you notice it slows down for me. My tricep stuff tends to be fast, just like my benching usually is. So when it slows a little, and I could tell because it felt really hard on those reps, so that I can see the camera, it slowed just a little bit. Slow compared to my other reps. But then the other tricep exercises I took to failure, this one I can easily do. All right, I went ahead and did alternating on these. And this is what made the workout so long. This is why the vlog is like 16 minutes. The other two bicep exercises I did one arm at a time. Like, let's go ahead and just try to really, really focus. So what do we got here? With the dumbbells, it allows us to work all three functions of the bicep. All the functions of the bicep get worked all the way through. The only argument is, well, you know, maybe the bottom position doesn't get the stretch position. It's okay, so we'll finish with a preacher curl, problem solved, right? But we work all the functions, right? Obviously, we flex the elbow. And so we do that through its full range of motion, right? Do it through its full range of motion. And obviously, we want to bring it up to the face. Why? Because that is also a function of the bicep. Right, that first 30 degrees of extension of the shoulder is part of the job of the long head. It does contribute to its development. And then again, that pronation and supination of the wrist. Now, I think with all this stuff I'm doing with a lot of this, I don't feel that I really need to do any forearm work. I'm realizing that at this point because I do so much raw pulling. I do all my pulling at this point without straps. And I'm talking 4 types of lat exercises, deadlifts, shrugs, everything is without straps. And then we have all this pronated grip stuff I do because my back day. Keep in mind, guys, I do all those rows, 3 types of rows. That's a lot of forearm training. So at this point, I feel like I'm not going to bother, mainly because I just get so dang much of it. And it's just adding to probably excessive workload. But by doing stuff like this, I got a hell of a forearm pump doing this, because of starting in that hammer position. So really we're getting all of that. But I'm also seeing, as I watch all this footage, as I get leaner, as soon as that love handle and flank area, I drop the fat there, I think I'm going to be in a really good spot. Because I think we can tell my abs are really well developed in terms of just muscle on them. So as I continue to lean out, I think all that's going to be good. And so again, I'm not focusing on cutting. I'm pretty much recomping. That's my goal. I was at 220 this morning, by the way, 220 pounds. So now that I'm fully carved up, the scale trickled up a little bit. But I want to stay right around that 218 to 220 and just try to recomp a little bit for a while, get the squat, bench, deadlift up, and then I can trim down further. But I feel like I'm in a high enough body fat still, and with all things considered, with the protein really high. All my training fasted. Like I fast in the mornings still. And it's much longer on the non-training day. So like even yesterday, I didn't eat till noon because I didn't finish my training till 11 something on my leg day. So again, the fasting combined with the ultra high protein and everything, keeping the diet super clean, I do feel like I can continue to recomposition, and that's going to be the goal. So we're not bulking or cutting. I'm just going to continue to recomp. But I feel like it's all going good. And those alternating curls felt really, really good. Like I felt on those that good mind muscle connection. I lost rep counts. I don't know. They were approximately 12 to 14 reps per hand. I know I got at least 12 on everything, so we're just going to market that. Right? We're just going to market that. All right, so then the incline extensions, I tried to focus more on the stretch. Instead of making sure they're not turning into like a rolling extension on me, I tried to make sure that I got as deep of a stretch as I could, and I took these to failure. So when you saw me roll them forward, it's because they stuck. I went to go to the bottom and they just stuck. So on this movement, all 3 sets, we took it to true muscle failure. I just did them until it stuck at the bottom and I couldn't move it. And then we just roll forward at that point, just roll them back down. So the other extensions were maybe a rep left in the tank, but these I went ahead and took to failure, right? So again, making sure we're getting the most. So I only did 7 total sets for triceps because I did some band work at the finish. One set, just for the elbow tendon health and to get that also shortened position just to finish, because it may help with my bench lockout. So with these, again, these were taken to failure and trying to focus on that stretch position for the long head, because we're going to add a little more pressing, I think, on chest day. I think I want to add a decline of some type. So that's going to end up doing 15 sets for my chest, but it's all going to have tricep carryover. So again, the same thing, that 15 sets, that's a really good spot for, I think, muscles that need more work. Whereas then I can do 10 or 11 or whatever, or even 12 for stuff that's in a good place. But I don't know how to count all the tricep stuff. So if I end up doing whatever 10 direct sets, do we count the other as half sets? Like all the pressing and stuff, I think we can, right? I'm going to count it as half sets. But it's going to give me right about for, if I do like on Monday, just 3 sets for triceps, that'll give me 10 direct sets. So 7, and then, 7 of whatever the half. So we're right in that range of where we want to be. All right, so then next I did dumbbell preacher curls. So I'm like, if I'm going to do the preacher curls, I get more out of these. I feel like the easy bar just speeds it up. But realistically, if I go with what really burns, the dumbbell. Plus, I can always lead with that weak side, because if I have a little chunk of my left bicep has been removed over 20 years ago. So I want to make sure that I lead with that side. So that's what I did. And I find that I'm actually, some cases, a rep stronger. But I took it to failure. So I went ahead and the same thing, just like with, because I don't know if I really went to true failure with the dumbbells. It just burned and I just couldn't move the dumbbell on the left arm. But the barbell I took to failure. These I took to failure, at least for the left arm. So I counted the reps and they just tried to match it on the right. So we took the left arm to failure and then just matched it on the right. And that's kind of the idea. But again, this is what's making this vlog so long, because doing all the dumbbell work one arm at a time, either the alternating or this, probably added, I bet it added 4 minutes, 5 minutes to the vlog. So even though it's only 16 total sets, this vlog ends up being 16 minutes long, which we shouldn't have a minute per set, but is what it is. But again, I think we look at the upper chest and everything when I pick the dumbbell up. I've got a screenshot of that to put up on social media. So that's all been filling in. So I'm going to continue to push my incline work super hard. All right. But also notice there, as I'm sitting there, the shoulders are looking decent. It's all coming along. Like I said, we've got more work to do, continue to work on my physique, get leaner, and bring my big 3 up. And that's the beauty of now recomping. I'm not worried so much about fat loss beyond just minor amounts due to recomposition for a bit. I'm going to get the big 3 back up. And my squat's already doing really well again now. But I want a 550 squat. I want the deadlift back in the 600s. And I've said I want a 375 bench this year. But here's the kicker. I want to do all of that without gaining a single drop of body fat at any point. In fact, I want to be slightly leaner. So I want to do all that a little leaner than I am now. And I think that's achievable. I think it's realistic. Right? I mean, we've already hit similar numbers at higher body weights. And I got the 365 bench for a pause over a year ago. So let's push up towards a 375. But I've got to build more pec. I need more tricep too, but I feel like I need more teddies for that. Right? So we're going to work on doing that. But yeah, legs are looking fairly lean there today too when I pick the stuff up. See the hamstring separation. So we're just, again, keep chipping away at the body fat. Like really the body fat is mostly just around the waistline and that loose skin area, love handle area. So once I burn that off, I think we'll be good. But these arms need to come up, right? I feel like my chest still needs to thicken up some more. But we definitely need biceps and triceps to keep growing, which is why they're getting their own separate day. We'll give them some love on the chest day and the back day. Because it makes sense too, because I'm doing chins and all that pressing, so it makes sense. But I want to give them kind of their own day just to really put that focus in, so that we start off with arms. So again, they're getting their own day separately. And I keep getting people like, why don't you start your back day with biceps? Because that's stupid. Like, why would you do this? This ignores everything we know about physiology. Because if I want to do them completely fresh, but really I do start the back day with it. I start with chin-ups right now. But realistically, how about I just give arms their own separate day, and that resolves all those concerns. And then I did one set of band press downs, but these I got the most reps I've ever got. I set this up in a way that I was getting 15 or 16 for multiple sets at the end. But I'm just like, let me just do one set and just not stop when it burns. See if I can just do it slow, controlled, squeeze it so that we get that shortened position. And I got something like 35 reps. So I was surprised. I'm like, hey, just don't stop, don't stop. Just keep going on it. Keep going. Doesn't matter how much it burns. Just let it burn. Just push through and let's get as much blood flow and just pump that tricep and get that lock out to the best of my ability, which I did. And so I just felt like I needed that one set just to completely finish my triceps off, but I don't want them so exhausted I can't bench in 48 hours. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.